complacency is the killer of ambition. And I would wake up every single day and I would know internally, I'm worth more than this. I can go and provide. I can go do this. This is something that I can do.
All right. So today I have got a special guest, somebody that is going to hopefully inspire you for the start of the year. Chris is a good friend of mine. He has also built a tremendous business up in Oklahoma and all over that area of the country. Chris has done some remarkable things, some things that a lot of people struggle with, and that struggle is real. But Chris has overcome that. He has got over $235,000 this year booked for 2026. People talk about the slow season. People talk about not being able to get customers. Chris has figured this out. He has got $2.5 million worth of estimates out there, and we're going to talk to him about how he was able to achieve this. Chris, welcome back, brother. Hope you are having a great 2026.
What's going on, Mike? Yeah, it's been real good. No complaints with us. We're not slowing down. Even from the last quarter of 2025, we haven't stopped, and rolling over into 2026, we just keep accumulating work. We're tremendously blessed. Thank you so much for having me back again on the channel.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to talk to you. I wanted you to share with the folks that are watching some of the things that you've done to secure this business. Chris's story it's kind of a David versus Goliath type of deal. Chris was working a regular job. He decided he wanted to go out on his own. He started a line striping business. But let's talk about that.
Obviously, in the very beginning, things were a little bit slow, as they are when most people are building a business from the ground up. And ultimately, what had ended up happening is we got to the point where people were finding us organically on Google. That's whenever our business absolutely exploded. So initially, whenever I started, I was working 2 jobs, started my company, and then over the next year, built a business to the point where I was able to leave my full-time job. Matter of fact, I had to leave because my boss let me go. And in the process of when we were building the business in the very beginning, we had large franchise companies that reached out to us and asked if we would be willing to come under their franchise umbrella. And essentially, they were going to leverage their brand to give me more work. Well, since I declined the offer, that's when they took the small contract that they gave me in the beginning away. And then, so really, it kind of shifted my focus from trying to get these one-off jobs into targeting one customer with multiple properties. That way I could save my time. And so really what it did is it taught me how to prospect customers. It taught me how to find customers with multiple properties and then negotiate deals. That way I wouldn't have to spend a lot of time going here, going there. I could just bill one customer with multiple properties and generate a lot of income very, very quickly. We started targeting franchise companies. We did our first year, we got Little Caesars, we got Sonic. I have Bricktown Brewery. We did the Raising Cane's. I can name multiple customers, but the thing is if you're just getting started, my advice to anybody would be find one customer with multiple properties and then try to do whatever you can to make them happy. That way you can retain them year after year after year.
Yeah, that's great advice. What else are you doing as far as your marketing goes? I know you started with the organic. Are you running any kind of ads? Are you doing any kind of paid marketing?
No ads and no paid marketing, completely organic. And ultimately, that's the fastest way to generate lots of contracts is people that find you organically. And not to say that we don't run paid ads, but whenever we slow down, like whenever I use Quote IQ, that's one of my favorite things about the lead source information. So for example, like my analytical data tells me that 66% of all my traffic that customers come in through my lead source is coming from Google. And so let's say that 66% drops onto a lower percentage for the next month. Then what we'll do is we'll go, hey, we need a consistent amount of leads coming in. Let's turn on a Facebook ad. Let's turn on some Instagram ads. Let's run some data scrapes. Let's do some email campaigns. And so since I have the lead flow tracker, what that allows me to do is whenever I start to see my Google leads dropping off, I can look at that data and make a more informed decision as a business owner. And I can say, let's start allocating some other financial resources towards these other avenues to generate paid traffic to compensate for the lack of organic traffic and calls. So when we do slow down, yeah, we start, implementing things like that.
Well, that's one of the key things is understanding your numbers, having it all in front of you and actually monitoring it, right? We've built that dashboard out so guys can do exactly what you're doing. If you're not monitoring your data, if you're not understanding your numbers, then you're flying blind and you're making decisions that are based on just, feeling as opposed to hard data. And the hard data is what allows people to run businesses intelligently. And if you're not doing that, then you got to start. Chris, you and I work together on the How to Stripe training program. You've just recently put out the How to Seal Coat training program. If anybody's interested in that, they're actually 50% off right now. There'll be links down below if you want to check those out. We're doing a New Year's special. And a lot of people have really benefited from, these training programs. Chris's knowledge and experience, and you can hear just from, the things that he's already said today, he knows this business. He knows how to get customers. He knows how to drive traffic, and he knows how to get the jobs done. Obviously, he's got $2.5 million that's out in estimates. Talk to me about what percentage you think you're going to close of that $2.5 million in estimates that you've got out there right now.
Man, at the 2.5, I think comfortably I'll close, about 300,000 of it. One of the things that we implemented this last year is our business has expanded, and I've brought on a field crew. I've brought on a sales guy. I've brought in more people. So I project that we'll get about 300,000 out of that 2.5. So I can confidently say, I think so far in 2026, we're going to do probably about 500 that I can for sure say, not including what's going to come in off of Google or off of the search engine or off of organic traffic, no paid ads. I say confidently we'll probably end up running about 500 right now that I can say.
That's incredible. And one of the things that you just said that I think is very important for people to understand is you've done something that a lot of small business owners are fearful of doing. And that's kind of relinquishing some control, right? Because in order to scale, in order to grow, in order to hit the numbers that you're actually hitting, you do have to bring people in. You do have to hire people. You have to get a sales guy. You have to get, some sort of administrative help. Because if you can't delegate, you can't grow. One man can't do everything that's happening in your business right now. So tell me, at what point did you decide in order to grow, you were going to have to go out there, hire crews, get sales help?
What I was doing is I was paying people for help. So I would have a particular helper. Let's say I had 20 grand worth of work to do that month. And I would pay a helper every single time they went with me on the job. So let's say we might be on the job for 2 or 3 hours and I might make $1,500. Well, I would pay that helper $250, sometimes $300, really, really good for just that day. But if I would need their help again later on in that day, let's say a customer shifts around, we get done, we drop the trailer off, I go home, goofing off for the rest of the day. Well, there would be times whenever I would call that same helper and I would be like, hey, I got another job. Can we go do it? And their response would be, well, am I going to get the same amount of pay for the exact amount of time? And so it really opened my eyes to the perspective of, if you have a helper, you're not going to be able to sustainably grow. So like for anybody out there who's growing their business, or they have a helper, or they don't think that they have a consistent amount of work that's coming in, first thing you need to do is go look at your last 2 or 3 years. And that's exactly what I did. I thought for a second, okay, I'm actively losing money and I don't have the help when I need it, because whenever I need help, they don't want to work unless they're getting paid $200-$300 again, even though the job might be $500-$600. So what I did was I looked at my books and I looked back and I said, okay, here's what I paid multiple people to be my helper all throughout the year. And I tallied that number up and I thought, well, instead of paying multiple people to be my helper for this amount of time, what if I just took that same amount of money and invested that into one, this is how powerful this stuff is, one full-time worker. Instead of having 5 or 6 different weekend guys to help me, why don't I just pull one person, bring them over the team, give them a salary, and then teach them how to sell, and then give them a commission, right? Well, Mike, you know this just like anybody else, that once your time is freed up, you're then able to allocate that time into other income-driving activities for your business. So now I replaced myself with sales. So what I did is I started generating a lot of money through Google from organic traffic. And then if I wasn't in the field, I would just stick a sales guy right over there at that desk to make calls nonstop for 8 hours. So now, like you brought up quote IQ, now whenever I look at my cold calls have tripled. Then my cold call and my leads have tripled from what they were last year. So like when I go back and I look at my data, like 8% of my leads that I closed deals on came in by way of cold call. Well, guess what? I was in the field and I was predominantly stuck in the field on a line striper. I wasn't able to generate income any other way other than Google because I was capped in my time. So once I replaced myself in a sales role and I stuck somebody over there with a desk to be able to make calls all day long for me, not only did I start generating income from Google, but then I began to generate income from cold calling. So then I had two streams of just high volume traffic that generate income. And we got a customer, my sales guy got a customer, a commercial property owner with 32 properties, and we still have to go there and quote them with them. And it's a for sure thing that we're going to get it. We don't even have the numbers yet, but we went out to eat with them. They've already told us, like, we want you to be the company that we exclusively work with. And so we're kind of just waiting to finalize the offer. And so that's what makes it so powerful, is because once your time is freed up, you're the business owner. So the business owner, time is the most valuable, intangible asset that once it's gone, you can never get it back. And so the way that I think about things is I go, how can I take the money that I have, invest that money into other people, leverage their time, get my time back, utilize my time for other income driving activities.
So what you just said is very powerful, and freeing up your time as the business owner by hiring and delegating is absolutely critical for growth. That's one of the things that we've done within Quote IQ, because the other way that you can free up your time, even if it's not hiring people immediately, it's by putting systems in place to allow you to kind of put those things to the side. Like, we've got our virtual call team. Now, this virtual call team is absolutely incredible. For my business, for the pressure washing business, I don't enjoy talking to people on the phone, and we've loaded it with all of my pricing. It can actually quote every single residential pressure washing job, every single service. It upsells, it cross-sells, it schedules. It's incredible. And I just get an email notification saying, hey, this customer has scheduled a job. Here's the price that AI quoted. That is kind of an extension of what we've done with InstaQuote, which is on your website. You can send it on a link, you can put it on QR codes, but essentially what that does is it again frees up your time. So you're not running out and doing all of these quotes for all of these people, some of which are tire kickers. Some of these people are never going to hire you because your price is too high. They're looking for the cheapest price, but they're still wasting your time. You still have to allocate time in your week to go out and do these estimates, if that's how you're doing it. I've never done it like that. I've done everything remotely. We built InstaQuote, so you feed InstaQuote with the pricing matrix. Everything is built in, so a customer can come, they get their estimate, they schedule the job, they're in and out from your website in a matter of minutes. You're giving them exactly what they want, which is a price, a quote, the opportunity to schedule their appointment. And by implementing these systems, these processes, using technology alongside of hiring people, you're going to free up so much time, and you're going to be that much more effective and just powerful out there dominating your market. Chris, any other advice for anybody that wants to start their business?
Yeah, 100%. If you're watching these YouTube videos and you're thinking about starting a business, check out how to Stripe, check out how to seal code, because the skill set that you can learn for the amount of money that you can learn it is extremely valuable. Because here's how it was for me, and this is my message to the people that are going to watch this video. Nobody is waking up every single day thinking about your needs, and complacency is the killer of ambition. And I would wake up every single day and I would know internally, like, I'm worth more than this. I can go and provide. I can go do this. This is something that I can do. And if a man is complacent and he does not get outside of his comfort zone, then he will never have the drive to go and produce results.
Strong words, and so true. And Chris, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk with us. And I know that people are, going to get a lot of value from the things that you shared, and be inspired by what you've been able to accomplish over the past few years. And it really has just been a few years. I mean, it's incredible. I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you're my buddy. And thanks for coming, brother.
Oh, that's sweet, Mike.